Gary L. Wells and Andres pulling right in up here right now.
He looks like Commodore.
Hey, Gary.
Riding up on his car there at Commodore. It's like you're storming the sands of some foreign beach.
First time I can see over the heads of the crowd.
Exactly. Well, let's start over here with, it's a Tucker, obviously, but it's not exactly a Tucker.
Andres,
it's a modern recreation of a Tucker built by Rob Ida.
Hey, Gary.
48 Tucker with a twin-turbo Cadillac Northstar motor in the back.
So in other words, if they had actually finished the development work on the Tucker and gone into series production, they probably would have ended up at some point in the 1980s with a Cadillac engine in the back.
Sure, that's the idea. So recreated with all the modern.
You know, he's known, along with his very, very able Andreas, that they build these things together, and Andreas is really a super craftsman, as you can see here. Mechanic, Yeah, no, I love the term mechanic. You don't have to be a technician.
And Gary is also clever enough to let Andreas drive.
Mechanic,
because it's much easier to be a passenger.
Yeah, mechanic is the old school term, and I love that. But they get these truck chassis, and then that's about the only thing that exists, and then they just go crazy, and voila, here it is. I mean, you know, it's like 1 year later, well, it's a long voila.
And let's talk about the fact that there are so many. I see this car and I see at least 4 different cars that may have inspired you. But tell us what your inspiration was. And I love the way you realize these cars because they remind you of something, but this is unique. It has its own character.
Well, I started using these American LaFrance chassis because they're hero trucks and they should get a better end than being just thrown out into the woods where we find most of these things. But they were built to last 100 years, and they all have. This is 103 and almost 104 years old. And as you know, we've been here several times with others, and they are geared to do 100 miles an hour. And the main thing, though, is basically to save these for history. Because if you lose your history, you lose your soul as a nation. So this is what we do. They have some very unique features. They have like their chain drive, which a lot of people have never seen a chain drive before. And the transaxles is silicon bronze. This was when America made things to last forever. And I don't know of any of them that haven't lasted 100 years, or they can do it, that's for sure.
What is the engine in this car?
Well, it started out, they bought the rights from Simplex, because the American LaFrance went into business in the 1830s and got out about 3 years ago. And they wanted something powerful enough that they could, that would pull one of these things. They anywhere from 9,000 to 12,000 pounds, so it's a lot of piece. And when you think about it, they have no front brakes whatsoever, no power steering. And that is absolutely amazing to me. So we do add power steering assist, and we have everything else that we can do.
You didn't put front brakes on, did you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But even so,
yes, to everyone assembled here, do not fear. The Bestioni has front brakes.
Yeah, no. Even so, when you come rolling off the.
Let's change it to what you just described. Any of the time of the year, you've got your heart in your throat.
Well, I think this is the greatest automotive event in the world. And I've been coming here now for 30 years. And believe me, this is one thing I will come to the day I die. This is it. The greatest people, the greatest cars, and the greatest place. And the weather's nice. I'm from LA, it's too hot.
Right. The commonality between these two cars is they're both hand-built and they're one-offs. And that's the commonality.
We're parked next to the Viron. And there you can see within 10 feet 100 years of technology.
Yeah.
You would go a long way.
Yeah, the Bugatti
This is so much fun to drive.
With Bugatti Veyron, when you buy that car, it's you have to pay to have it shipped to the U.S. And I think it's a little more now, but the shipping is $70,000. So once you sign the papers, then it's like, well, hey, you want that taken to the U.S.? Well, yeah, that's where I live. Okay, well, that's an additional $70,000.
Yes, but
a lot of people don't know about that. So,
but you remember back in the 60s and 70s when the Moroni stickers on the cars used to show delivery charges for European cars, and it was always about $100 from Europe to the East Coast and $250 to LA. So you always had to pay delivery. But let's get back to the technology here, because one of the things that's so fascinating to me about the development of technology is that as the car was developed, it was thought, if you want to make it go faster, just make the engine bigger. And so these are really big engines that turn at very low RPM and produce tremendous torque. What kind of power does this engine have?
It's 900 cubic inches on this, 14 liters, 6 cylinders, but the thing that's unusual is that there's 4 plugs, 2 on the magneto, 2 on the distillery for each piston. So people will come on, they'll sign these together in what's called a T-head engine. So you've got 2 pistons in each one, the size of a 2-pound coffee can, going up and down. And believe me, it's fun. It really does torque. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, it's all torque. Yeah.
And the only way to make them faster is that the sprockets are about 12 inches originally. We bring them up to 18, 19 inches. That gives us a top speed of 100. It has the top speed of 100. I don't have a high speed.
Yeah.
And it's also fascinating that for the first generation of the motor vehicle, engineers were doing their best to make cars go faster and faster, but nobody actually talked about making cars stop until the late 50s. So it's going to be a challenge to do modern brakes for a vehicle like this.
It's pretty interesting. We put good disc brakes on the front. You have to be able to stop. And we do anything we can for the safety factor. But again, just by the sheer size and the brute sound of it, when you're driving along, people get a big kick out of it. And they really watch what they're doing. But you really can't drive it on the freeway for any great distance because there's so many cars coming up taking pictures all the time. Even on the trailer we try to get up, we can't. People want to pull in and that's what we call.
Let me ask you about the tires. Are those a current tire, or are they recreation? Do you get those from Cobra or somebody like that?
No, actually they're original and they're Goodyear, and they were done about 30 years ago. And the only way I could get them was to buy a completely restored truck, and it had 2 sets of wheels. I stole this set, put the other wheels back on the truck, and sold it.
Yeah, because that's a problem. A problem on a lot of projects like this is where do you get the tires for a lot of these cars?
Well, it's not a big problem anymore because the tire people are smart enough to know that it's going to cost you $1,000 a quart. And money talks. And so if you need tires, you'll get the tires.
But I love the entire idea of what an enthusiast, passionate car collector builder does. He needs tires, so he buys a restored truck to get the tire. You do what you have to do.
I sold the truck. Farming owns it.
Fantastic, and it's so great. Again, these 2 cars that are here, these absolute realizations of dreams, of visions, here running, driving, being enjoyed. As we were speaking before, it's great to look at one of these things parked, but to see Gary driving one of these things down the street, you think you're hallucinating. It's absolutely amazing.
There's a lot of love in both of these cars, a different type of love. Gary, I know all about he and Andreas' love for these projects they do. There's a heart and soul creation one-off. Over here, we've got offspring of the Tucker family, Tremulous, the designer, etc. The love was for them to carry on that heritage of their families. And they've done a fantastic job. When I found out that the Tucker had been recreated, I just could not believe it. I really couldn't. And it's just pretty amazing. And so, it's love, but it's different love. It's a different passion.
But we celebrate all the passion and all the love here. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Gary, for sharing all of your amazing creations.
Andreas, great to see you.
Photo on the video. Get up on the
Get up in the combo position. You look like Patton riding in on a tank.
I feel like Patton.
You look like George S. Patton.
I never realized I was so tall. Folks, could you spread out just a little bit, please, for me? Thank you. Next year we're going to have the white car.
camera. Look at the lens. Did they fill in the way?
You're back now. Okay, big smile. And again. Yeah. Come on, Garrett. you're having a good time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
See you. Have fun.
Okay, thank you.
Not many cars also. Marble thing.
I think we'll have to go back. That's all patina.
Gary, how about that? Live on Dano Vision. I captured it all.
Light it up. Okay, now, right here.
You took our pictures.
I think that was pretty good.
Absolutely.
That was very
That
good.
was lovely picture.
Yeah.
We love the art. We are real big Americans.
That's the best part of the whole darn thing.
It's a weird collection.
Thank you so much. When you're ready.
No, what's
Just had a boy show. We started something.
How about that? Gary L. Wells. Bestioni. Andreas.